This small one-story brick school building in rural Boyds, Maryland, stands as a hallmark of a significant chapter in Montgomery County's history. The former Edward U. Taylor Elementary School was built in 1952 as a school for African American students at a time when racial segregation of public schools was still legally sanctioned. For decades following the Civil War, school districts across the country spent significantly more money on education for white students than for African Americans. By the 20th century, the opportunity gap had grown so wide that the illusion of separate but equal was transparently false. Early African American schools were often one-room structures or spaces that churches donated or rented out. In Boyds, Black students attended school in a one-room schoolhouse built in 1895, the Boyds Negro School. In 1923, Edward Ulysses Taylor just graduated from the Howard University School of Education. He marked the happy occasion with a look towards his future.
Goodbye, Howard, and here I come, Montgomery County. If you accept me, I'll reveal to your boys and girls my vision of a fuller life.
Taylor was soon hired in June of 1924 as the supervisor of colored schools for Montgomery County. For the next 27 years, Taylor brought intellect and passion to the benefit of Black students, teachers, and facilities across the county. He demanded excellence and advocated for higher teacher salaries, summer training, and maternity leave. Taylor promoted the consolidation of one-room rural schools into upgraded facilities and fought for the creation of a high school in the county for Black students. Through a concerted effort to make separate schools more equal, Taylor convinced the Board of Education to dedicate funding to build 4 new African American elementary schools in the Up-County region. However, Edward Taylor's untimely passing in 1951 prevented him from seeing these projects completed. The 4 schools met modern school design standards with features such as concrete structural systems with brick veneer, ribbon metal windows providing light and ventilation, and access from each classroom to the exterior. Black communities celebrated these modern buildings as an accomplishment after decades of disinvestment. In a joint request sent to the school board, both the Selman and Clarksburg PTAs asked that their newly completed school be named the Edward U. Taylor Elementary School in honor of the late supervisor. The request was granted. In 1954, just 2 years after the Taylor School's completion, the U.S. Supreme Court's landmark decision in Brown v. Board of Education struck down racial segregation in all public schools. In 1961, the Edward U. Taylor School was one of the last schools to be desegregated by the county and the only formally segregated elementary school to remain open as an integrated mainstream school. 1954 also brought other changes to the school, in addition of 2 classrooms. As enrollment increased, a second classroom addition was authorized in 1960. Finally, in 1969, a library and services wing was added on. Today, the building still serves its community as the Taylor Science Center for the processing and storage of science kits for MCPS and other school districts.
We go to 140 different sites, roughly 4,000 plus teachers, close to 70,000 students. Science is a subject that's incredibly important. It's essential to young students to be able to do science. And by providing the materials, we certainly hope that that's what we are doing. That's what Edward U. Taylor would want, that the students got the things that they needed to be successful, to be able to become knowledgeable, and to be able to apply that in their lives. I don't think there's anything that we can do better than to give students that opportunity.